It is a remarkably common trap for executives to declare an AI rollout a massive success simply because 80% of their workforce now has login access to the new tool. Then a few quarters pass, financial reviews roll around, and leadership discovers absolutely zero measurable change to their business outcomes. This excerpt from the course material highlights exactly why that happens. The stark reality is that while access is widespread, only 20% use it regularly. The outputs are rarely trusted, and no core workflows have actually been redesigned. To fix this, you have to operate on a different logic model. Access is merely a necessary condition for adoption. Adoption is the actual use of the tool, and actual use is the only thing that eventually creates value. An organization that measures access and reports it up the chain as adoption will systematically overestimate its ROI, leaving leadership completely blind as to why their investments are failing to change the business. Genuine AI adoption requires hard evidence of workflow integration. You are looking for proof that the tool is embedded into daily tasks, not just exploratory first-time sessions by curious employees. Looking back at the adoption metrics outlined in the text, your baseline is the active usage rate. You need to track the strict percentage of target users utilizing the tool on at least a weekly basis. This dashboard measures impact beyond simple usage. We track task completion rates and manual effort reduction to confirm actual time saved. Breaking these metrics down by team segments isolates which departments are thriving and diagnoses localized barriers to adoption. If your dashboard only shows system logins without corresponding task completions, your workforce is experimenting with AI. They are not adopting it. Even with high initial usage, an invisible barrier can collapse your adoption entirely: fragile trust. If users do not trust the outputs, they will abandon the tool or use it so superficially that it provides no value. Trust and quality metrics define the warning signs. Monitor override frequency to see how often users reject AI outputs, and review burden to check if verifying takes longer than manual work. For customer-facing systems, tracking severe error rates and escalation volumes is strictly non-negotiable. The only way to catch these trust issues before they break your system is by building structured feedback loops. You connect user surveys, routine quality sampling, and manager observations directly back into your system governance. Initial adoption spikes are meaningless if you lack the mechanisms to monitor and maintain the workforce's trust over the long haul. This brings us to the operational reality. AI deployment is not a single launch event, it is a continuous operating model. To manage that journey, leaders rely on a transformation playbook. This text outlines the structured set of actions required to treat AI adoption as an ongoing discipline. The foundational moves are clear. You must explicitly tie the deployment to specific business priorities, and you start out with a tightly focused set of high-priority use cases. You build evidence of value before expanding. Before launch, you also define clear rules for safe usage and data handling. Once deployed, you provide genuine support for role redesign and capability building so your teams can adapt. Bowing to internal pressure to scale AI widely before establishing these playbook foundations will not scale your value. It will only scale your organizational risk. Sustaining this takes a rigorous review habit. You track real adoption metrics, adapt governance based on hard evidence, and relentlessly evaluate if the technology is actually solving the business problem you targeted. The closing note of this course captures the connecting insight perfectly. AI creates value through well-designed initiatives, deployed on sound foundations, governed responsibly, and measured honestly. No AI capability, regardless of how advanced the underlying model is, delivers business value automatically. It requires the exact same discipline as any major business transformation. As this final passage explains, the leaders who will sustain value aren't necessarily the ones with the most ambitious initial visions. They are the ones who make sound, sequenced decisions, build compounding foundations, and measure what actually matters. The ultimate test of any AI strategy is a leader's willingness to apply these rigorous frameworks to the human realities and the specific constraints of the organization they actually lead.